Listen to and viewed from over 35 countries from around the world. This is the GridCast. I am your host, Danny Cox, and with me is my co-host. He's a box owner and a grid enthusiast, and he brings the sexy into GridCast. His name is Conan Bruce. Conan.
Oh, you must be running out.
You know what?
That's the best one you had.
I tried to think of a few, and I was like,
because you're always bringing sexy back.
Well, there's the Highland Games, right? That's coming up in a week, but they won't really understand the Highland Games. That's just our thing.
Well, they will. They will like next year because it's going to be like a worldwide event.
Worldwide. I really hope so. So today it is episode 18, which is, by the way, that's insane that we've done 18 episodes so far.
Yep. Wait till it's 180.
Oh my God.
Hey, folks. By the way, we're not stopping. We're going to be going for years. So.
Years and years, which is great.
This is my day
we're
job
excited
now.
about it.
I'm retired.
I hope it's my day job in about a year or so. So in Quadrant 1, we're going to talk about the emergence of the youth into the Grid League and what in functional fitness, how they've actually concentrated on the youth and brought them up to actually create some super athletes.
Yep.
And then in Quadrant 2, we're going to talk to Alan Fitzpatrick, who did the grid.
Fitzpatrick. So he was one of the first guys we ever did like an off the grid with, right? Was it? Did we
Quadrant?
call it?
It's show number 2, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember if we called it. We didn't
Maybe
call
show
it.
number 1.
Yeah, it was number 1, I think. But anyway, you guys can go back and look and see. But love Alan to death. He was he's just a wild guy, and you're going to like the interview. I'm sure you will. He's coming from Ireland, man. I mean, we're Skyping him in, of course. But
right, and he did a tournament the first time introducing a grid sport in Ireland.
Right, and he's all about it, man. He's doing his best to make it, grow over in Europe. It'll be a cool interview.
Yeah, and then in Quadrant 3, we're actually interviewing Coulter Turchin, the 17-year-old that was picked up at the Boston Iron. So that's going to be really exciting to talk to him.
And I was standing, so we were taking a lot of video footage during the combine, plus GridCast stuff and just doing all kinds of media stuff, right? And I'm standing there kind of taking a break on the outside of the grid, and I run into Coulter, right? And he just kind of gives me an elbow and goes, we just start talking. And he tells me, like, he basically, I don't think he skipped school. I think school knew he was gone, right? But I was giving him crap. I was like, dude, you skipped school to come to the combine.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Right? It's really cool, yeah. Right? Hell yeah.
How many friends like, hey, where are you going to be this weekend? I'm going to be trying out for a pro team.
Yeah.
How about you?
No big deal. NBD. Yeah, I'm just going to be a pro for this grid league. I don't know if you heard of it, but
it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. There's a Pro Bowl running back that's part of it, and there's an Olympic lifter that's part of it. It's kind of crazy.
A lot of Olympic lifters.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's going to be a good show, guys.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start the show.
We love to lift, laugh, and improve. This is Björk Odinsdatter.
Hey guys, welcome to Quadrant 1. We got a pretty cool, cool topic for Quadrant 1 today. So we're gonna just kind of explore. We're gonna talk a little bit about the draft,
right? A little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then a little bit about kind of what we think is the up and coming youth grid. That's not really a thing right now, right? Youth. I don't want to call it kid grid. Maybe kid grid, but teenagers don't like to be called kids. So
right. Well, there might be kids and then youth and. I mean, soccer, they have different kind of levels, right?
Yeah. Bottom line, we're going to be talking about people under 18 playing grid. How about that?
Yeah, which, okay, so let's just talk about the draft and why we're talking about it. So in the draft, you had 17-year-old Coulter Turchin that was signed on by the Boston Iron, and that's been a topic that everyone's talked about, quite a bit, and we're really excited about it, and that's the reason why we have Coulter coming in on Quadrant 3.
Yep.
But another really big happening was 19-year-old Brooke Wells to Miami. Now, actually, New York was about to pick up Brooke Wells, and then Miami ended up trading up in order to get her, and gave a pick to New York. So then New York ended up with 2 picks in round 3. Mm-hmm. So not only did someone trade up to get her, they also gave away a pick just to get this 19-year-old girl. Well, that's a 17 and a 19-year-old. Coming to the grid.
Which, by the way, guys, if you didn't catch the draft update show that we did, draft coverage show, not sure, can't remember what we called it, but that's up on our website. Check that out. It's pretty cool.
They also had Alex Smith.
Yeah.
right?
We were. Oh yeah. How old? Alex. He's like 20 now.
Is he 20 now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's not a kid anymore.
Yeah, but he was for a while. I remember in the CrossFit circles, we were waiting for him to grow up and come of age.
So I used to do judging at CrossFit regionals and at the games. I did it 1 year, but several years for regionals. This will be the first one I haven't done since there was sectionals, right? Jerry, my buddy, and I both did judging. I say all that to say this. We watched Ben Smith come in, right? I remember being on a basketball court at George Mason University in Northern Virginia, and you don't know what athlete you're going to get. You just get paired up, boom, go, and you're judging them. And there was I don't remember exactly what the workout was, but it involved like a run, right? And this guy, Ben Smith, is just sprinting the whole time, just laying waste to everyone in his way. And then I think they went straight from that, if I remember right, to handstand push-ups. Whoop, bam, and just starts going. Everybody else has got to, like, compose themselves, take a break, jump up there. No, Ben comes in, wham, right? And I just remember this because while we're talking about this guy, this kid at the time, Ben was pretty young, they're like, oh, just wait. Like, his brothers are just as much of, badass. And I was like, and sure enough, here comes Alec. I can't remember some of his other brothers or family, but they got a really cool thing going on down there. I don't know what they're feeding these kids, but it's good, right?
Yeah.
So we watched Alec come up, and I remember judging him for one event in regionals a couple years ago, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, he was individual. Anyway, just watching this kid. And you know what? What I loved about Alec is he was having fun. He was, and he was killing it. But, he obviously didn't make it to the games that year, but he was having fun, which I think is important.
That dude always smiles.
Yeah.
You can never see him without a smile.
Yeah, which
is pretty awesome.
He's a cool guy. So back to Coulter.
Yeah, or
back to the draft.
Well, so Coulter actually, if you look back in some articles from actually CrossFit in 2012, give him a little credit. In 2012, they talked about him and how their family moved out to California in order for him to pursue CrossFit. I mean, so he was a football player out in Colorado, and then he was a football player, started to do that in
So his
California.
family supported this.
Absolutely,
took him out there,
100%.
get him in the middle of CrossFit.
Yep. And he was a football player and decided, that's not really for me. I really want to concentrate on CrossFit. And everyone says really nice things about him. He would show up to the gym at 6:30 in the morning before school, and then right after school, he's back at the box again working out. And it's just his passion. As a 15-year-old, he was cleaning 245 pounds. That's awesome.
It's crazy.
And he was doing 63 unbroken pull-ups.
Especially because he probably didn't weigh anywhere near 200 pounds.
Right.
Right. It's not like he was some huge kid. Like, you've seen those kids.
Right.
Like, I've got one here in Northern Virginia. It's a buddy of mine. His kid's 13 and weighs like 210, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that when a kid can throw around weight like 245, but this Coulter's not that big.
No.
Yeah.
So he has 63 unbroken pull-ups.
Oh my gosh.
Right, at 15.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago. I don't know what he can do now. That's something I'm gonna talk to him about.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
So this is not really a new phenomenon. It is in Grid because Grid's new, right? We're only in this second season. But so I've had a CrossFit gym for 5 years, been a CrossFit coach for like I don't know how many years it is now, more than 5. So anyway, as CrossFit has grown, I'm a huge fan, huge proponent of CrossFit as a fitness methodology. I like the sport also. Two different things I think in my book: fitness methodology and the sport. But as CrossFit grew, Jeff and Mickey Martin out in California started CrossFit Kids. Now, if you guys pay attention to all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of drama about that right now. Not going to get into that. Has nothing to do with our show.
No point in getting into that.
Still love Jeff and Mickey a lot, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, why I'm bringing it up is what we started to see was kids leaving other sports like soccer, or maybe not even leaving the sport, but just off season coming and doing CrossFit. I was watching kids, who played soccer off season from soccer, running marathons, doing Oli lifting, doing weightlifting competitions, solely based on the fact that they did CrossFit, right? So they became better as athletes. When we first opened the gym, I had a 16-year-old wrestler come in from a local high school. Little guy, he was in, I don't know the weight classes for wrestling, sorry. But he was a small guy, right?
Right.
Welterweight.
Yeah.
So let's call it whatever, right? So anyway, this kid over the break does CrossFit for a few months, goes back, and his coaches automatically test him for steroids. They're like, there's got to be something wrong, right?
Wow.
Of course, he was clean. He's not doing steroids. The point is, he got wicked strong, and his engine just got unbelievable. He was crushing people. Fast forward, football player, really good football player here in the area, same thing. Got injured in football, couldn't play for a while, came to CrossFit. Next thing you know, this kid's slinging weight like it's ridiculous. So
ridiculous. I know who that person is.
So
ridiculous amount of weight.
Yeah. So to Coulter and guys like this. So what happens is this is the way you grow up.
Yep.
So my kids have been doing CrossFit since they were born, literally. Like I've got videos of them 3 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, doing pull-ups and box jumps. They just did it for fun. They just did it because that's what Daddy was doing with his buddies in the garage.
Right. Or
here at the gym. You know, my 4-year-old comes in here and swings a kettlebell because everybody else does, right?
Yeah.
Not a big kettlebell. It's only 35 pounds. But Shelly swings a big kettlebell. Anyway, the point is these kids grow up in this. And they start to – so one thing about kids in general is they can handle volume, right? You don't want to tax them too much in too many different ways. But, I mean, having a teenager do 2-a-days is like
not
normal,
a big deal,
right? They're like, yep, went and had a snack and came back and let's work out again, right? I mean, their recovery time is crazy. So it really does fit well as long as you do it properly, as long as you develop them properly, like any other athlete, right?
Keep the form number one.
But in GPP, that's what's great about CrossFit is it really builds their general physical preparedness as a kid, right? So, wait till later to get them into, not too much later, but you wait them in a little later to get into weightlifting, powerlifting, stuff like that. Build their GPP, their coordination, their skill, all this stuff, right? It's amazing what happens, though. They become phenomenal athletes like Coulter. Right. And he's 17 years old.
Right.
It's crazy. You got 19-year-old, is it Bridget?
Brooke Wells.
Brooke, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Brooke, 19-year-old Brooke. I mean, what's going to happen when they're 25?
Right.
It's going to be
crazy. And I don't think this is anything that's going to stop anytime soon, right?
No,
I mean,
it's only going to get more.
With how big CrossFit kids got.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is there is a point. It's probably somewhere around 15, 16 that starts to happen with kids where they are developed enough to be able to handle this kind of this level.
Right.
But it's definitely 16. I mean, and once that happens for girls and guys, I mean, some of them have just got the capacity that's unbelievable, and they're stronger and they're faster, and then that's just their normal, right?
Yeah.
We haven't even really started to develop them as athletes. If Boston and Miami take these two, youngsters, I'm 40-something, so I can call them that, right?
These young whippersnappers.
Take these little whippersnappers and just keep whippersnapping them. I mean, they're going to be great. It's just ridiculous. The 25-year-olds now are look at them going, holy cow, like you're going to crush me, years from now.
Well, you know what's great about Grid, though? Like, you can even take this to 5-year-olds without the weight. Right, you could do just the body weight movements and take it to small kids. So this past Saturday, my wife and I, she coaches a CrossFit Kids class here at CrossFit in Providence, and so we decided to do Kids Grid, just on a whim, just going to go try it out.
And thanks to the league because they sent us a kind of prototype copy of some things they're working on, which is like basically a rollout mat that gives you the quadrants. So you don't need to paint all the stuff on your gym or whatever. You just roll it out. You don't stand on it. You just kind of use it as a guide to go from quad 1, 2, 3, 4, start line, finish line, which is awesome. That's all you need.
It's really awesome.
Especially for kids. All they need is like a direction. And when you tell kids, hey, we're going to race, they're like, I'm in.
Oh, totally.
I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, kids race inherently. That's just what you do. You race your siblings to, the front seat of the car.
So what did you guys do for
dinner,
workouts?
To whatever. So we went to gridleague.com, and we used the most basic, if you're out in a field kind of workout. So with the first one we did was Jack and Jill, and it was 40 push-ups, 20 diamond push-ups, and 10 partner-assisted elevated push-ups. So basically what you're doing is you're holding the other kid's ankles at their waist, and then they're doing a push-up, down there. So we did a Jack and Jill version of that. So we did find, though, because the kids were so young, that was a lot of reps because we did a practice first, So we went out there and said, you know what, let's just practice, the transitions and stuff, for the kids. Yeah. And I was looking at them going, that's diamonds push-ups. Maybe a little too much.
You know what's funny about
we
that?
did it in half, 20, 10, and 5 is what we ended up doing.
You know what's funny about that is, though, they probably wouldn't have been so much as tired as they were bored. Because you can't have them doing the same thing for a long time, right? They'll be like, well, I'm just bored now. I'm going to go over here and do something else.
And who came? There's actually 2 younger girls and then 3 semi-older boys. The older boys, actually, we kept the reps higher and kept the girls lower just so they wanted to be the same. Because if a kid's getting crushed, in a race, they're not really going to be too into it.
But, we talked about this, I think it was last episode, and then on an upcoming episode, we're going to have Sean Buck, who's going to tell us all about gridleague.com, and you guys can go check it out now. You can download the PDF that shows you how to do, like, quick play, quick 3, quick 6. So basically you do 3 races, 6 races instead of the full 11, but you're still doing grid. So it's kind of like playing half court, right? Yeah. And this works out really good with the kids.
Oh, the kids loved it. The kids really, really loved this experience. And then we also did the sprint relay with the kids, and that was, squats and push-ups, and they did a shuttle run that was out there. They just flipped out over it.
And you know what I like about it? And, some CrossFit diehards are probably going to give me some hate mail for this, and that's okay. I've been in the game long enough that I can say this as a qualified, opinion, that one of the cool things I like about grid for kids versus a CrossFit competition, right? And we've done them. We've done we've had some various versions of CrossFit competitions. It's that you don't have to explain to a kid who doesn't know what it is. You don't have to really explain much. You just look at them and say, we're going to race. We're going to start here, and we're going to go there, and you're going to do this in between, right?
Yep.
And they're in. They got it. They don't have to wrap their head around, like, these odd workouts, things that they've never done, and they're not it's a race.
Right, and if you have a coach, which so my wife and I acted as coaches, right?
Right, for
each
team.
We'd be like, okay, you're going to do 10 reps. Run out here, do 10 reps, and then run back to the line, and then tag, your friend. They're going to come back out.
And you wouldn't normally have that in a CrossFit competition. I mean, I guess you could, but historically speaking, it hasn't really happened. They just kind of go out and do their thing. There really hasn't been, as far as I can remember, a lot of team kid functional fitness like throwdowns, right? I mean, at the games and the team gauntlet, like those were all individual competitions, which is great. I love it. We've hosted some here at our own gym. Nothing against them, but I think this is a cool evolution of using performance racing, fitness, oriented. The kids just kind of get it. I think it's really cool for them.
Well, yeah, and putting a kid in a team sport is also really good because it gets them to, have that social dialogue between people and learn the hierarchy of things and how to work well with others.
Yeah, and they don't have to do – let's remember this. It's grid. They don't have to be able to do all the movements.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you and I are racing together, and you go, hey, Conan, I want you to run, and I'm going to lift. And we go, got it, I can do it, whatever. And that's the same way with the kids. They're going to go, oh, but I can't do this, and this. And hope, generally speaking, one of the kids is going to be able to do it.
Right.
Right? Especially if you keep it to, like, 4-person teams, and co-ed, which is really cool. So I like the again, we're going to beat this to death because we think it's pretty cool. Gridleague.com. Go download this PDF, and you can see how they're keeping the integrity of the sport, giving you options to do. But if you look at, like, 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls, 2 teams, grid all day.
Oh, yeah. And another really cool thing the league is doing is, so San Francisco Fire went out to a middle school out in San Francisco and showed how grid works, right? So they had some pros out there, and they showed video, and then they had the kids come out and also
And they rolled out a grid.
Yeah, the full grid. It's a miniature version of it, but it looked like a full grid if you didn't really know.
Yeah.
And
no rig needed.
No rig. No, they had boxes they jumped up and down on.
Because when we say grid, guys and gals, we're talking about the court, right? So that's the grid, and sometimes there'll be a rig in the middle of it. But for kids, you don't need it. You don't have to have it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wish and I hope that a whole lot more teams will be doing this. They outreached out to middle schools and to high schools and to elementary schools because kids really do love this. They really do love this sport. And I got to see it firsthand on Saturday. And so anyway.
We're going to be talking about this for years to come.
Yeah, bravo San Francisco Fire, by the way, for doing that. And all the other teams, I hope you guys are planning to do that in the future because I think it would really help the sport out.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man.
So in Quadrant 2, we're going to talk to Alan Fitzpatrick, who just started up a grid tournament out in Ireland. And
Wild man Alan.
Yes.
And we will have a translator on site when you guys do the interview.
That's right.
He speaks Irish.
Yeah, damn right. So, all right. So without further ado.
I love you, Alan.
Let's kick it on over to Quadrant 2.
See you there.
Hey guys, so welcome to Quadrant 2. So with me is a gentleman from Ireland. He is in charge of the Filthy 150. He just did the Grid Invitational Tournament, his second Grid Invitational Tournament out in Ireland. From CrossFit, or the owner of CrossFit Navan, it is Alan Fitzpatrick. How you doing?
Hey Danny, thanks for having me. How are you?
Hey, doing great, thanks. So I understand that this past Sunday, you did a Grid Invitational Tournament as kind of an introduction into the grid. Second time actually around, but it's kind of a grid introduction. You did different events. Can you want to talk to a little bit about that and kind of how the day went?
Yeah, it was yesterday, Sunday. We had a small invitational about 2 months ago. Some athletes from my box and invited some contacts of mine along. So we had a smaller event. It was 2 teams, very casual, kind of 7 or 8 people on a team. And then we expanded on that and put it out to the community and got a good response. So initially we kind of had just 2 to 4 teams planned, keep it kind of local within, an hour's drive. Didn't want people traveling too far. And then it just grew. People wanted in and turned into 6 teams. Each team, some of the best athletes in the country coming down, people traveling from all over the country. And we had, I think it was nine races. Some we repeated.
That's awesome.
And it went really well.
So how many? So you had 60 athletes from how many different boxes around Ireland?
There was 60 athletes. There was 24 different gyms from Ireland involved. And what I did was I kind of gauged the athlete's ability because there was different abilities and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And divided up the teams as evenly as possible. So I mixed everyone up. So people were meeting for the very first time, literally an hour before the event started.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very good for the community. A lot of people, made new friends, and that's very important, as you know, within the community.
Absolutely.
And that was one of the main objectives I wanted to get out of it was for people to just mingle and become friendly and want to meet and train and go to competitions.
I hope they're meeting and they're friendly and drinking some beer. I mean, you're in Ireland.
Yeah, actually, there was no beer involved.
What? That's a blasphemy. I don't even understand.
There was not one beer drank. It was an anomaly.
That is strange. Something's very wrong. If we're out there and we're doing some grid out there, we're definitely bringing some beer. Something wrong with that. So if anybody saw online, they saw that you repeated a couple of matches that weren't normally repeated in the course of a grid match. So you did a partner forward and a ladder, for instance, repeated. Can you explain the processes or your thought process behind that so people understand it?
Yeah, well, it was the first time anyone playing grid ever in the country. So it's a new sport in a new facility with new teams who never trained together and, more importantly, never even met until an hour before the event. So my thought process was, let's give these guys a second go so they can figure out, who's who and who can do what, and they can, give the grid a shot and then repeat it, and the repeats work very well, as in they improved. They learned from the first go, and then most people improved on the second go.
So you saw the transitions were a lot smoother, the teams were a lot faster, and did you see the strategy change after they did it once?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Teams learned off each other. I had the same order of teams going the whole time, so the first 2 teams out were kind of the guinea pigs, and people were learning from them. But one of the first teams out ended up winning the whole thing. So,
wow.
I thought it went very well. I was very happy.
That's great.
Very happy, yeah.
So, what was the feedback like from both the athletes and the fans?
Athletes loved it. They loved the speed of it. They loved, the fact that they didn't have to do a huge amount of work in terms of capacity. So they loved it, and the feedback was it was very easy to follow. In terms of like your normal functional fitness competition, there's a lot of hanging around waiting for scores and whatnot. But grid, it's you get over the line first, except for the ladder, of course. You get over the line, and it's obvious who wins.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to follow that way, which is great. Well, it passes the beer test, right? You can walk away and you can see who's in the lead by what quadrant they're in or how close they are to the finish line, right? So too bad you guys weren't drinking any beer for that, though. So it's just about the sport. So what does the future hold for the Grid or Grid Invitational, Grid Ireland for you at CrossFit Navan?
Well, we've actually rebranded our business. We are now called Grid Ireland.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Just going through that rebrand now. We were called My Studio and our affiliate was CrossFit Navan. So it'll be Grid Ireland and our affiliate will be CrossFit Navan. So we're just rebranding and changing a few things here structurally. We're going to do tournaments with a prize.
Oh, nice.
We're going to it's kind of sorted. I'm just sorting the detail of it, but it's going to be 10 teams, €1,000 entry. Winner takes all, 10 grand.
Wow, that's huge. That's awesome. So that's it's actually similar to what you were talking about back when I met you in Columbia, South Carolina. You wanted to do something similar to that. So it looks like that's actually moving forward. So congratulations. I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we were looking at that for something like the Filthy 150.
Yeah.
But it didn't really fit with the model we were doing. Filthy 150 is a community-based event where all levels of athlete come together. It's going to be a huge event, and the big cash prize draw, that we will have prizes in it, is a different kind of model. So the Filthy 150 is going to be very much a local, all kind of ability event, and the Grid will be more kind of like people will have to buy a franchise as such and then put a team together.
So you're looking at it more of like an amateur league in essence, kind of like the SAGL or the MAGL, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'll be picking Colin's brain about you guys in the MAGL.
Yeah, sounds good. It looks like you're doing the SAGL format. So they had a tournament back in November, and then they started up a league when the spring came out, and so now they're just a few matches in. MAGL is also doing something very similar. So that's awesome.
So that's where I met you guys, actually.
Yeah, I remember. That was awesome back in November. Oh man, lots of things I feel like that was like 3 years ago now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Things have been moving really fast.
Yeah, it's look, it's people who want it to happen making it happen, and that's how things work,
Yeah, you're damn right. So, if someone were to try to get a hold of you and try to do this kind of a tournament somewhere else, how would they get a hold of you?
The best place at the moment is through the Filthy 150 website. So filthy150.com.
And quickly, can you describe what the Filthy 150 is?
The Filthy 150 is it's kind of a resource for events and all fitness related stuff in Ireland, which was born out of an event we run actually called the Filthy 150. So it's kind of evolved into something a bit more.
That's a huge event in Ireland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 900 athletes, 150 teams, 2,000 spectators, National Basketball Arena, October this year. Americans, come fly over.
Yeah, trust me, I really want to come over. We've actually been talking about it since we met you back in November. So, Alan, I'm really sorry about the connectivity issues and people watching. We've had some connectivity issues for Skype all the way through, so the video and audio might get a little bit of wonky through there. But I'm really glad we got to talk to you. I'm glad we got all the information out there, and I really look forward to seeing you either out in the Grid in the United States or see you out in Ireland. So thanks for joining us. All right, man. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye. All right, man. Thanks. He's been CrossFitting since he was 11 years old. He's still a junior in high school, youngest player to be drafted in the NPGL. He's now a pro athlete for the Boston Iron. It's Coulter Turchin. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us on the show. So, all the ladies are asking, are you a taken guy?
I'm not. I'm ready to go. Ready to have a good time.
All right, good. So tell me, what does a normal day look like in Coulter Turchin's world?
So the normal day, I wake up at approximately 6:30. Hopefully I don't have more homework to do in the morning, but usually I'll go get some breakfast, head to school. Classes start at 7:55, continue on until 1:15 when lunch starts. From there, I usually leave campus, go get some lunch, go home, get my homework done for as much as I can, then head to the gym for 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so, get my workout in, my programming, come home, finish my homework, eat dinner, go to bed.
Who does your programming for you?
I do. I make my own.
You do your own programming? Well,
yes, sir.
Dang, brush your shoulder off a little bit. That's pretty awesome. Do you think that Josh Plosker will be helping you with that moving forward?
Absolutely. In terms of developing my strength and getting me stronger, I feel that Josh will definitely be an advantage to having him do my programming and kind of overseeing my development over the next few years or so.
Okay, so what have you heard from the team so far since you got drafted?
So I've been texting with Josh back and forth, a few calls. I talked to Dan, who's the CFO, and so far we're just kind of working out logistics and seeing what's going to be happening in the next few weeks and a few months. I've been talking to Josh about possibly going to spend the summer in Boston and training with him at CrossFit Back Bay. So we'll see how that develops. There's obviously a lot of logistics to work out there where I'll be staying, how the whole summer will play out, but I'm really looking forward to the experience, and I've never been to Boston, so looking forward to seeing the town and meeting the people.
Oh, Boston's an awesome town. We were up there for the pro day. It's actually the first pro day that we attended as a GridCast crew. And other than the 3 feet of snow that was piled up everywhere, it was a pretty amazing city, and the people are very welcoming there. It's an awesome town. So if you get the chance to go up there, you definitely should. So anyway, so prom's coming up for you. Do you have any girl in mind that you're going to take?
Not yet. We're going to see how the next few months play out. Right now, to be completely honest, that's not on the top of my agenda.
What is on the top of your agenda?
Right now, getting ready for training camp. And SATs. What
is it that you need to work on specifically to get better as an athlete for the Boston Iron?
So there's a short-term plan and a long-term plan. Short-term, developing my gymnastics to the highest level possible and learning any movements that might not be my best and turning my weaker movements to my strength so that I'm as well-rounded in the gymnastics as possible. And then the long-term plan is developing my strength, getting my strength numbers up so that I can cycle the barbell at a fast rate and be able to turn into more of a utility player as the seasons progress.
Gotcha. So how many days a week are you training right now?
I'm on a about 5 days, three in the beginning of the week. Then I take Thursday off usually, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off.
That's actually the exact same days that I take off. That's pretty nice. But when you were 15 years old, I saw that you did 63 unbroken pull-ups according to CrossFit Journal. What are you at right now?
I haven't retested that. Since then, I did 65 in the middle of a workout one time, but I have not done a max set since the 65.
What about your weight? So clean and jerk, snatch, deadlift, back squat?
Right now, my snatch is at 195. I took that off some blocks, so that's not, I guess that wouldn't be 100% approved, but 195, 275 clean, 240 jerk. My clean and jerk is actually at 235 currently. Back squat is 315. You asked?
And deadlift?
365.
And 365. Well, that's pretty damn impressive, especially for someone who's 17 years old. So tell me, so you're going to be a gymnastics person for the Boston Iron. At least that's what I heard from Josh Plosker, that you are pretty much a gymnastics guru. So tell me about your past. How did you get into that?
So I originally started in CrossFit when I was 12 years old. I started at Aspen CrossFit. I'm from Aspen, Colorado. And my dad's friend, whose name is Eric Larson, opened up a gym there. And he said, come try this out. You think you're in good shape, but let's really see if you can hang with the CrossFitters. So I got in there, and even from an early age, I was pretty good at the body weight elements, and I figured those out pretty quick and figured out how to move efficiently. The strength obviously takes a little bit more time to do this extremely quickly, and learning the little nuances of each movement, I figured out how to transition and how to get better at those movements so that when those came up in workouts, I could make up some time there. And then even if I lost it on the barbell movements.
So I don't want anybody out there thinking if they're a young person to go pick up barbells and go throw heavy weight over their head. How old were you when you first started trying to max out on clean and jerk, snatches, deadlifts, stuff like that?
I probably started when I was 13 or 14, but I regret it. I wish I would have worked my technique more in the beginning part of my CrossFit and functional fitness career, because the technique I had to develop later when I was 15 and 16, if I would have developed that earlier, I feel my even better at this point. So just developing the technique is extremely important, especially in the Olympic lifts.
Yeah, I totally understand that mindset. When I was a pitcher in high school, and that was my game plan, and I had a opportunity to be full ride into college, stuff like that. But what I did was I did curveballs way too early. That was put a lot of torque into a body that was still trying to grow into its adult body, and ended up screwing up my shoulder and then ruining my career for baseball forever. So getting the techniques down, allowing your body to develop first before you get into all that is extremely important. So what kind of sports did you do before joining functional fitness and CrossFit?
So football was my main sport. I played from when I was in 3rd grade to when I was in 9th. And that was my passion. That's what I really trained for. And I felt that was pretty strong. I also played lacrosse, and I'm from Aspen, Colorado, so we skied. My mom was a professional skier, so that kind of ran in our blood.
Well, that's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Very competitive.
Yeah. So you're a cross country or a downhill skier or a cross country skier?
I started downhill, and then I developed more into freestyle and moguls and some steeper terrain, but
okay, nice.
Mostly racing.
But then you were into football. But so I read somewhere that you went from Colorado, moved out to California, and then you tried to do football for a little while, but you weren't really into it. So how did you transfer or transition from football into CrossFit?
I'd been doing CrossFit that entire time, but my main focus was football. So after I kind of got done playing football and really wasn't into it anymore, then I focused all my energy and my time into CrossFit, helping all the movements, because there was so much to work on. There was a lot of time to work on all the different movements. And still, I'm sure as you know, and as everyone else who does this knows, each movement takes a lot of time to develop, and you never become perfect at any movement.
Oh, absolutely. And the moment you think that you actually are perfect, you're going to be regressing like crazy. So, yeah, absolutely. So, so you said you're going to be working on your SATs, and just like anybody in high school, you're starting to look at your future, what's going to happen after high school. So, are you looking at colleges? Do you know which one, if you are looking at colleges, which ones you want to go to?
Yes, when I was in Miami about 2 weeks ago, I checked out the University of Miami, which I liked a lot. It seemed great campus.
Yeah.
I went to an informational session, and they described the curriculum based upon what you want to study, and that was a big thing for me. Based upon what I want to study, the social aspect there seemed great, and the campus was beautiful.
And what do you want to study?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I like kinesiology, science of movement.
Yeah. And
then in a totally different route, I'm also kind of interested in political science. So.
Oh, that's completely different routes.
See how that goes.
Yeah, well, I was a communications major, and then I was a music major, and now I'm a podcaster. So I don't really know what to say there. I changed completely. So that's awesome. So all right, you ready for gridlock? It's time for gridlock section.
All right, let's get it.
All right, so it's gonna be 10 fast-paced question and answer form. Give me the answer that first pops in your head for all this. All right. Mile run or 2K row?
Mile run.
Do you eat paleo?
No.
Who do you think would win in a fight between Thor and Captain America?
Captain America.
Bar muscle-ups or muscle-ups on the rings?
Ring muscle-ups.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Nuggets or Broncos?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Denver Nuggets or Denver Broncos?
Broncos.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes.
Nanos or Chuck Taylors? Nanos? All right, and who's going to take home the Pinnacle Trophy for the 2015 NPGL season?
I'm sorry, you cut out for the first part.
Who's going to take home the Pinnacle Trophy for the 2015 NPGL season?
Boston Iron.
Boston Iron, baby.
Boston Iron.
Thanks a lot, Coulter, for joining us on the show. I really appreciate it. And good luck on the grid next season. Good luck on the SATs and applying to colleges and all that good stuff that comes with it. And finding that date for prom. All right, man. Have a great day.
You too.
So thanks, Alan and Coulter, for joining us on the show for Quadrants 2 and 3. And so what do we got coming up?
A lot of stuff. But before we get to that, we got to get better at talking about this in the intro.
Son of a bee, that was awesome.
So, guys, if you go to our website, you'll notice a few banners on there from Highlead. So here's the deal. We got a pretty cool deal worked out with Highlead, where if you guys buy, if you click the link on the website, and soon you're just going to be able to go to GridCast, thegridcast.com/Highlead. Probably by the time you see this, I'll have it fixed. Yeah. Thegridcast.com/Highlead, or just go to our page, click the link. Here's the deal. You get 50% off your first purchase.
That's amazing.
50% off.
Yep.
You're going to get half off because you love us.
Damn right.
Right? So go check it out. I actually just bought a pair of shorts from them because I think they're badass. But so obviously it's an affiliate link. It helps us out. If you want to support the show, go buy some Highlight gear. It's really good gear, really good quality. Also, if you check us out on iTunes, please leave us a review. 5-star review would be nice.
And also subscribe on iTunes. When you subscribe, they actually tell you when the new episode's out. So you don't have to think about it. Right. That little red #1 pops up on your phone. And
just comes up on your phone. And we also are on Stitcher. We're getting, I know you guys that are on Android, we're getting that figured out to where Stitcher, SoundCloud, we're trying to see which one's best. You guys give us some feedback. If you want to see it on some other medium, some other platform, let us know. We think iTunes is pretty easy. You don't have to have an iPhone to listen to iTunes. You can still go there on your phone. It's just you go through the website instead of the app. Also, check out World Class Weightlifting on our website. And we know we have a lot of weightlifters that listen to our show, and you guys got to check this out. I actually started going through the program myself, and having been a coach for a long time, it is legit. They've got some really great information. It's a pretty good price for all the info that you get, and it's good for coaches and athletes, depending on which direction you're coming from. So check all that stuff out on our website.
Also, another thing, sign up for our newsletter too, because really soon we're going to be putting content out there that's just for the people that have signed up for our newsletter.
Yeah. Actually, we're working on that now. So as we have more newsletter subscribers, we'll be able to put show notes out, links to stuff that doesn't. So, hey, this was the first episode that we actually did broadcast live on Periscope, which is pretty cool. Same thing we did at the draft. If you guys caught that, if you missed it, you can also catch it on replay. I think for 24 hours. It's probably gone by the time we do this.
And only on the iPhone app that you can catch the replay.
Yeah.
If you're on the computer or whatever, you can't see.
You got to watch it live. You can just click on it comes out on Twitter. You click the link, and you can watch it on your computer, or you can watch it on your iPhone. We've babbled enough about all this stuff. We're just letting you guys know we're trying to give you guys
shut the hell up already?
Access to the GridCast in all these different ways, right? That's what it's all about. It's trying to give you guys access.
So in NPGL news, supplemental draft #1 it comes out the same day that this comes out the day before, actually. Yeah. This episode comes out. That's on Tuesday. And then next supplemental draft is a week after that. So the NPGL is rolling right on through. The athlete rosters for all the teams should be completed really, really soon, and we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, big thanks to Coulter, and big thanks to Alan for being on the show. You guys were great, and that's what really makes this show, we think, even better, is having all these guests, and we really appreciate all you guys hitting us up about being on the show. It's a lot of help and a lot of fun.
Yeah, so until next time, guys, clean up your jerks and snatches, drink your beer in batches, and always dominate your grid matches. See you later, guys.
See ya.